Good evening, America. How you guys doing tonight? This is Scott Nishad. I hope your New Year's is all that you thought it would be. I hope you are able to all your New Year's resolutions. I hope they come true. I just want to talk a little bit tonight about China. Our country's sale. I think. Back in 1978, Jimmy Carter, the president who just died, and I don't care about him dying. He gave up. He gave Panama control over the Panama Canal that we paid to have built. Now you know what the Panama Canal was built for mainly. It was made for a lot of boats to go from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean, but it's mainly built for our military to get our ships from one ocean to the other ocean in case of wartime and all that. It's a strategic advantage for us. That's what it was made for originally. A strategic military advantage for the United States. So we wouldn't have to cruise all the way around South America to the tip of Chile to get around over the Atlantic Ocean. Well, now China here is running that thing. They're running the Panama Canal basically, and they've probably been doing it for a while. And until now, until Donald Trump brought it up, nobody said nothing about it. So that was Jimmy Carter. I mean, we built it. We paid to have it built. I mean, and he gave it away in 1978. He gave it away. All right, now let's fast forward to 2001 when Bill Clinton pushed to have China enter the World Trade Organization. Before that, they were pretty much a pretty poor country, people. They were pretty much a pretty poor country, and they weren't a real threat at all back then. But now they are a threat. I mean, because they're running the Panama Canal. We allowed them to come into the World Trade Organization and sell their cheap goods, a lot of it done by child labor, slave labor, to enter the world market and to make all this money with their cheap merchandise. Okay, and then now now China is buying influence in all South America. There's a lot of embassies there that are being built now that haven't been there. They're never there before, nor would we have allowed it back in the day. I mean, I think China's almost got more influence now in South America than we have. They're building big, huge embassies, and that's for a reason. They're trying to militarize South America. They're trying to militarize our back door. I mean, what kind of? I mean, and that's a lot of that's being done under Joe Biden. I mean, spy balloons coming over. I mean, how much did Carter get from the Chinese to get rid of that Panama Canal? Because they're involved in it because they're the ones running it right now. We already know how much money Joe Biden got. How much money did Bill and Hillary Clinton get for allowing them to enter the World Trade Organization? I mean, we're basically giving our country away, our military strategic advantage away. It's almost like we're saying, hey, you can run the world now. We're going to follow you. I mean, because I don't understand all this stuff that our country's been doing for a long time now. And it's not just the Democrats. They're the ones who are in power during a lot of this major stuff that allowed this to happen. But I don't see any Republicans talking about it or trying to stop it. I mean, I don't understand what's going on in this world or this country. I mean, every time we were the biggest, most powerful country in the world by far back in the day. And we're just not anymore, people. China's right at our back door. They're popping out 2-3 ships a day over there in China. We're not building military ships. We're not building any. I mean, and we know that, and we're still not doing nothing, and we're still not trying to keep up. You got to think about that. What's really going on? Stop it. What's really going on? We're just going to give away our freedom because I'm afraid of China, honestly, because I mean we've been allowing them unchecked and giving them the power to be unchecked to do what they want now for basically 30 years, 40 years. You know what I'm saying? I mean, especially since they entered the World Trade Organization. And if it wasn't Donald Trump, we'd never even know about the Panama Canal basically being ran by China. I mean, we built it. Now they can get their ships over to both sides of the oceans. I mean, without going around the globe. That takes away our whole strategic advantage when it comes to our naval fleet. I mean, not including them outshipping us now. They got more ships than us military. I mean, we don't want to go to war with China in the ocean because they're going to kill us. They're popping out ships left and right. And we're just watching them and doing nothing about it. We're sitting here squabbling about DEI. We're sitting here squabbling about DEI, didn't earn it. And we're transgender rights and all this crazy stuff. And then we allow all these students to come over here on visas. We allow them to come and get educated in our country for them to be walking around in these protests, hating our allies and hating this country right there in plain sight I mean, we do nothing about it. How come we're not stripping those visas away from them and sending them back to where they come from? I mean, I don't understand what's going on in this country, people. And this is going to be a little short podcast. I mean, I've slowed down on them lately because basically nobody's watching. So I just like to vet. But I mean, nobody's really saying what's really going on. I mean, really going on. We're giving our country away to let other countries catch up because they don't like us or something. I don't know. But we should have never gave up all the, we should have never let China and the World Trade Organization. We should have never let Panama run the Panama Canal, basically giving it to them. They're charging us more to get our ships through there than China, and China shouldn't even be allowed to get their ships through there. They are our known enemy. What part is that is so hard for everybody to understand that America actually has enemies? We can't all see kumbaya. I mean, we actually have enemies. But let's give them every advantage that we have that always benefited us in wartime and not them. That's why war is going to end up on our shores this next time, people, because our country is allowing that shit to happen. We're giving away every advantage that we have. We're giving away all of our money. We're letting spy balloons come over our country. I mean, and God, thank God Joe Biden's gone. I mean, he's the biggest worm, old, ugly, evil-looking motherfucker I've ever seen in my life. Excuse my language. And I can't wait for him to get out of office. And I hope people understand that this is real stuff I'm talking about here. You think that the Chinese can't come to our shore now? Unless we, it's going to happen, people, if we don't wake up and smell the coffee. I mean, I'm talking the people of this country need to wake up, because our government's asleep at the helm, both parties, except for Donald Trump. Both parties are asleep at the helm, and we're just cruising on autopilot, and why we're going to be attacked. We got no fighter pilot in the plane. We're on autopilot. You know what I'm saying? We're giving away everything, our money, our advantages. I mean, our colleges, our grade schools. I mean, we got all these liberals. We need to go by the Florida. Florida is doing so well. Ron DeSantis is such a stud. Every 5 years they do a review in Florida of these professors in college, and if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, they're fired. But it's the only state in the whole union that's doing it. These other teachers are allowed to stay there and corrupt our children year in and year out forever, and nobody wants to do nothing about it. Nobody wants to fight back in our government. You know why? Because the people aren't making them fight back. We vote these people into office. They go in there and they do absolutely 100% what we didn't want them to do. We voted them in there for a certain resolve, but they don't do it when they get there. They get bought out by special interest in China. I mean, we need to realize that, people. China is buying influence. They're trying to. They want the dollar to be replaced by the yen. I mean, that's already trying. They're already trying to do this. Once the dollar is replaced by the yen, our economy will crash. The reason why we're so rich is because most of the world uses the dollar. When they stop using our dollar and start using the yen, it's over with. It's all it's going to take is 4 or 5 major countries like France, Germany, England. I mean, a few of our big allies, and the dollar's done. We need to start paying attention, people. I'm telling you, we better stop arguing about all this petty social crazy stuff and realize that everything else around the world is more important right now. All this crazy sexual, stupid, crazy crap, DEI stuff is just leave it at the fucking door. Man, put on your fucking adult clothes and come in and let's talk what's really going on, or we're done. I mean, I'm just saying it, people. If you don't, everybody thinks that it can't happen in this country. Well, the Roman Empire never thought it would fall. England never thought it would fall back in the day. I mean, neither did fucking King Tut and the goddamn Egyptians, but it happened. It's going to happen to us too, in a way shorter period of time than it did for all these other major countries that ruled the world at one time. We can't let it happen, people. I don't want to be a slave. I don't want my kids, my grandkids, my family. I don't want no Americans to be a slave, but that's what's going to happen. It's just like when China went and rounded up all the Muslims in their country, put them in concentration camps here. This just happened a few years ago. They don't want that. They don't want all that crazy stuff that those Muslims are doing in their country. They rounded them all up. They allowed them to come in there, and then they said, no. China's not fucking around. We got to stop worrying about everybody's little feelings and start getting the job done. I mean, I'm tired of everybody's little feelings getting hurt over every little thing that has to happen. These things need to be done in order for America to be safe. And if you people don't realize that, then we're truly assed out. I mean, we are, people. We're assed out. Everything this country's done over the last 300 years to build the greatest country ever is going to come down so fast. And that's what history will record. How America fell so fast over social, stupid, sexual, freaky, stupid crap. I mean, really. Really? I mean, that's how easy we got it here, I guess. I don't get it, but I mean, well, that's Scott in a shot. I'm out here for the night, people. I mean, I hope everybody has a great New Year. I do, but I hope we have another 20 years of New Year's coming for everybody, because I don't see it happening. We're asleep at the helm. We need to stop and wake up and take care of business. I mean, plain and simple. We got to get rid of term limits so these people take care of business instead of getting bought out by all these special interests and all these other foreign adversaries of ours. This is Scott in the Shot, Scott the Great. You guys have a nice evening.